Hey guys, so if we want to prepare image or a drawing that we've done ready for After Effects, so if for example with this image that I've got here, I want certain elements to move, so I might want the sky to be moving to the right as if the clouds going past. I want these piece of fabrics to be moving in the wind, this branch to be bending in the wind because of the wind. And then this person, perhaps his arm moving as this branch is bending. What I would need to do before I even take it into After Effects is I'd need to separate each of these different elements that will be moving. So I might separate this fabric. I might have a background that's completely in the background. But the problem that we might have, for example, is if this piece of fabric is over the top of this background, when we cut this fabric out, we've got like a massive gap in our sky. So we'll need to refill that in. But I'll show you how we do that later. First of all, I'm just going to show you how we separate each of these layers using our trusty pen tool. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you create copies of this image and name them depending on the different parts that we're separating. So I'm going to take this off the lock and I'm just going to copy and paste this a couple of times. So I think my first layer, I'm going to call that, let's call that sky. Second layer, I'm going to call that person and branch. I'm going to call this one shirt 1, shirt 2, shirt 3, and then there's a sock right at the top of that branch here. And then I'm going to call that one, let's call that sock. So cool, all those layers have been created. The other thing that you'll notice, I've got my paths kept up here. Normally it's usually kept down here, but I want you to just drag it up and put it in here so you have access to your paths really easily along with your layers. Okay, that said, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom into my person and I'm going to cut out this person and this branch. So using my pen tool, all you have to do is you need to click and you can start to sort of outline this whole body. But what you can do is, in order to get a curve in that you can create it, you just need to click and then drag. And then if you want to move these ankle points, you just hold down the Alt key and then you can drag that in. And then you can click on the next area, create that shape, maybe drag that in, it's up to you. And I'm just going to keep drawing my line on the outside. Good. Now that I've put that together, so I've outlined that whole shape, and I did that very sort of quick job because I just wanted to get it done fairly quickly. I'm going to make sure, in case you haven't already, just make sure that at the top left hand side here, instead of it saying shape, it says paths. And then this button here, which is the path operations, you want to make sure that it says intersect. Yeah, there we go. Intersect shape areas. I'm also going to make sure that I have selected on person and branch, the layer in which I'm trying to cut out. And I'm going to just plan to just get rid of the eye on the rest of the layers so we don't see them. So we're only seeing that one layer that we're working with, that we're making a mask for. So I'm going to click on the work path, which I'm using. So that's the path that I'm using. I'm going to hold down Command. I'm going to click on the person branch, so that's selected. And then I'm going to click on the mask tool down at the bottom here. And that will essentially cut it out. If it's the case that your plan wasn't to essentially cut out the person and the branch, you wanted it to do the other sides, and play around with this. So it will choose to either subtract or intersect depending on which part you want to cut out. So now that I've done the person and the branch, what I'm essentially going to do is I'm going to do the same thing to each of those layers. I just want to have a go at doing the sky one with you, just in case there is some confusion. If this sky layer needs to go behind all these objects, even these branches here, when I'm cutting it out with the pen tool, so it's making sure that I'm on the intersect here, and then I'm clicked on path there, I'm just going to make sure that I'm cutting, even if I'm cutting out the person and the branch as well, cutting in them and they're still in it, we can sort that later. So once I've cut this shape out, I'm just doing this nice and quickly, bear with. So once I've cut that out, what we can do is we can then get rid of this person, get rid of these, the shirts and the branch, and just have it as sky. And I'll show that how we can do that on a later date. But now that I've cut that out, I'm just going to click again on my work path. Then I'm going to click Command. Then I'm going to click on my sky layer, so that's highlighted. And then I'm going to make sure that my mask, I click on my mask tool right at the bottom here. And that should be done. So those two layers are done, and I'm just going to now finish off by doing the other layers.